We are all addicted to the highlight reel. We watch movies where the hero transforms in a 2-minute montage. We scroll through social media and see the vacations, the new cars, and the finished bodies. We condition our brains to believe that life is supposed to be a series of explosive, exciting events. And because of this lie, we hate our actual lives. We hate the boredom. We hate the routine. We wake up on a Tuesday morning, look at the sink full of dishes, look at the traffic, look at the pile of emails, and we think, this is not it. I am meant for something bigger than this. I am here to tell you that you are wrong. This is it. The sink, the traffic, the emails, this is the battlefield. The war for your destiny is not fought on a stage with a spotlight on your face. The war is fought in the quiet, invisible moments of your daily routine. There is a Japanese proverb that says, fast is slow, but smooth is fast. We want the shortcut. We want the lottery win. We want to wake up rich and fit, but nature does not work that way. Look at the Grand Canyon. It is one of the most majestic sights on Earth. How was it built? It wasn't built by a dynamite explosion. It was built by water, just a river, flowing day after day, year after year, grinding against the rock. The water was persistent. The water was boring. But the water won. You are the water. Your habits are the river. If you want to carve a canyon of success in your life, you don't need dynamite. You need consistency. But consistency is not sexy. Consistency is waking up at the same time when you are tired. Consistency is eating the healthy meal when you want the pizza. Consistency is writing the report when you would rather watch Netflix. The biggest threat to your success is not failure. It is boredom. Most people quit not because they can't do the work, but because they get bored of doing the same thing every day without seeing immediate results. They go to the gym for a week, look in the mirror, see no change, and quit. They work on their business for a month, make no money, and quit. They are amateurs. The professional falls in love with the boredom. The professional understands that the mundane tasks are the bricks that build the palace. You say you want to run $1 million company? Let me ask you this. How do you handle your laundry? Do you let it pile up for weeks? Do you ignore it? If you cannot manage a pile of clothes, you cannot manage a pile of money. How you do anything is how you do everything. The discipline you show in the smallest, most annoying parts of your day is the exact same discipline you will bring to the biggest parts of your career. Stop waiting for the big break. There is no such thing. The big break is just the public reveal of 10,000 small, private victories. The athlete who wins the gold medal didn't win it during the race. He won it during the 5 a.m. training sessions that nobody saw. He won it when he said no to the party so he could sleep. He won it in the dark. Your daily life is a test. Every time you choose to make your bed, you pass. Every time you choose to scroll on your phone for an hour instead of reading, you fail. And life is keeping a score. You might think these little moments don't matter, but they are compounding. They are adding up. So, here is your challenge for today. Stop looking at the horizon and look at your feet. Stop dreaming about the future and start attacking the present. Respect the routine. Treat your daily checklist like it is a holy scripture. Do the dishes with excellence. Answer the email with focus. Drive to work with gratitude. If you can conquer the boredom of the ordinary, you will achieve the extraordinary. But if you despise the ordinary, you will remain ordinary forever. The war is won on Tuesday. Fight. Italiano. Alright, let's get real. You know that routine, that daily grind, is where the battle is won. But just knowing that isn't enough. The real fight, the real struggle, begins the moment you decide to actually do it. Because when you commit, this little voice wakes up in your head. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the voice that whispers when your 6 a.m. alarm goes off. Hey, just 5 more minutes. It's the voice that tells you after a long day, you've earned a break. Skip the gym. Or the one that says, I'm just not feeling inspired right now. I'll write that chapter tomorrow. This voice has a name. It's called the resistance. And it has one source of fuel your feelings. See, most people are slaves to how they feel. They wake up and the first thing they do is take their emotional temperature. How am I feeling today? If they feel motivated, they get to work. If they feel tired, or sad, or just plain lazy, they do nothing. They're treating their life, their goals, like a hobby. They are amateurs. The amateur only comes out to play when the sun is shining. They wait for inspiration to strike them like a bolt of lightning from the sky. But the professional couldn't care less how they feel. Think about it. Does a surgeon wake up and ask, do I feel like saving a life today? Of course not. They scrub in, and they do the work. Does a soldier ask, do I feel like fighting for my country today? No. They lace up their boots and they march. The professional understands a critical secret. They separate their feelings from their actions. You have to divorce your emotions from your execution. Your emotions are like toddlers. They're chaotic, they're loud, and they change their minds every 5 minutes. You would never let a toddler drive your car. So why are you letting your feelings drive your life? If you're building a business, or a body, or a legacy, you are not a hobbyist. You are the CEO. And the CEO does uncall sick because they're just not feeling the vibe. Let's talk about something I call the micro-quit. This is the real reason you lose the day. You don't fail in one big, dramatic explosion. You fail in 1,000 tiny, insignificant surrenders. You pick up your phone just to check one message, and suddenly, 20 minutes have vanished into the social media void. That's you stare out the window, lost in thought. Instead of finishing that one last email, that's a micro-quit. Every time you choose the easy, comfortable path instead of the necessary, difficult one, you're making These little quits are like termites in a wooden house. From the outside, everything looks fine. The house looks solid, stable, but inside, unseen, the very structure is being eaten away, bit by bit. One day a storm hits Moby. It's a financial crisis, a health scare, a major setback, and the house just collapses. You're left standing in the rubble, wondering what went wrong. It went wrong because you let the termites of laziness, procrastination, and distraction live in your walls for years. You allowed 1,000 micro-quits to erode your foundation. So how do you fight back? How do you win this war against the ordinary, against mediocrity? You must become a master of the reset. The amateur has a bad morning and immediately says, well, the whole day is ruined. I'll just start fresh tomorrow. That is allié. That is a weakness talking. The professional has a bad morning, gets frustrated, maybe even angry, and then resets at noon. They say, okay, the morning's gone. I can't get it back. But I can still win the afternoon. They don't let one bad hour infect the whole day. They don't let a bad day spiral into a bad week. They stop the bleeding immediately. They reset. You have to start looking at your schedule, your plan, not as a friendly suggestion, but as a binding contract. When you write down gym at 6 p.m. or work on project for 1 hour, you have signed a contract with your future self, the person you want to become. If you skip it, you're in breach of that contract. You're telling yourself that your word doesn't matter. You are becoming untrustworthy to yourself. And if you can't even trust yourself to do what you say you're going to do, how can you ever expect anyone else to trust you? How can you build anything meaningful on such a shaky foundation? Our world is absolutely filled with people who are waiting to feel ready. They're waiting for the perfect time to start the business. They're waiting for the fear to magically disappear before they make the sales call. They're waiting for motivation to show up on their doorstep with a bouquet of flowers. I've got news for you, and it's not what you want to hear. The fear never goes away. The boredom never goes away. The resistance will be there every single morning. The only thing that changes is you. Your ability to move forward despite the fear, despite the boredom, despite the resistance. That is the only thing you can control. So, from now on, stop asking yourself, do I want to do this? Because let's be honest, the answer is usually no. You'd rather be comfortable, you'd rather be entertained. Instead, start asking a different question. A better question. Is this action necessary for me to become the person I want to be? If the answer to that question is yes, then your feelings are completely and totally irrelevant. They don't get a vote. The amateur waits for the feeling to show up before they'll do the work. The professional does the work, and that is what creates the feeling. They earn their motivation through action. So I'll ask you again, which one are you? We have talked about the battle, we have talked about the discipline. But now, we must talk about the truth. The truth is that you are chasing a ghost. You are running towards a finish line that keeps moving. You tell yourself, when I get the $1 million, then I will be happy. When I lose the 20 pounds, then I will love myself. When I get the promotion, then I will relax. You are living your life on hold. You are treating the present moment like it is just a dirty waiting room for a future that hasn't even happened yet. But let me tell you a secret that the billionaires and the champions know, but rarely talk about. The view from the top of the mountain lasts for 5 minutes. That's it. You climb for years. You bleed. You sacrifice. You finally reach the summit. You plant your flag. You look around. You feel a rush of adrenaline. And then the wind gets cold. The sun starts to set. You realize you have to go back down. If you hated the climb, the view is not worth it. If you despised the daily steps, the destination will feel empty. There is an old Zen story about a young student who goes to a master and asks, "Master, how do I achieve enlightenment? How do I become great?" The master looks at him and asks, "Have you eaten your breakfast?" The student says, "Yes, I have." The master says, "Then go wash your bowl." The student was confused. He expected a magic secret. He expected a complex philosophy. But the master was teaching him the ultimate lesson. Enlightenment is not found in the clouds. It is found in the dishwater. It is found in washing the bowl. If you cannot find greatness in the way you wash a bowl, you will not find it in the way you run a company. Because the energy you bring to the small things is the energy you bring to the big things. The war of the ordinary is not just about getting things done. It is about waking up while you do them. Look at your hands. Look at the room you are sitting in. This is your life. Right now, not the life you are dreaming of in 5 years. This life, the traffic you sit in, that is your life. The report you have to type, that is your life. The gym workout, that hurts. That is your life. If you are constantly trying to escape these moments mentally, you are committing a spiritual crime. You are throwing away the diamonds of the present because you are looking for the gold of the future. Imagine for a moment that you are 90 years old. You are lying in a hospital bed. Your body is failing. You can no longer walk. You can no longer run. You can no longer work. You are just waiting for the end. And suddenly, a genie appears and says, "I will give you one chance to go back. You can go back to being your current age for just one ordinary Tuesday. But you have to come back here afterwards." What would you do on that Tuesday? Would you complain about the traffic? No. You would roll down the window, feel the wind on your face, listen to the music, and marvel at the fact that you can drive. Would you complain about the hard work at the office? No. You would relish the feeling of your brain being sharp, your fingers moving on the keyboard, the ability to solve problems. Would you complain about going to the gym? No. You would lift that heavy weight with tears of joy because you would remember how it feels to have a strong, capable body that can feel pain. You would look at your family, not at your phone while they are talking but at them. You would memorize the color of their eyes. You would listen to their boring stories about their day like it was the most fascinating speech in history. You would wash the dishes and feel the warm water and the soap. And you would think, "I am alive. I am here. I am doing this." Why do we have to wait until we are dying to appreciate the struggle of living? Why do we have to lose the ordinary to realize that the ordinary was actually the extraordinary? The reason you are unhappy is not because your life is boring. It is because you are ungrateful. You have convinced yourself that boring is bad, but boring is where the magic happens. Boring is where the compound interest grows. Think of a bricklayer building a cathedral. If he focuses on the finished cathedral, he will get overwhelmed. It is too big, it takes too long. But if he focuses on this one, bricklaying it perfectly, with the right amount of mortar, tapping it into place, making it level, then he finds peace. He finds rhythm. And day by day, brick by brick, the cathedral rises. He doesn't build a wall. He lays a brick perfectly. and he does that 10,000 times. Your days are the bricks. Today is a brick. If you lay it crooked because you are lazy, or angry, or distracted, the wall will be weak. If you lay tomorrow's brick crooked, the wall will lean, and eventually, your life will collapse. But if you lay this brick with excellence, even if nobody sees it, even if nobody claps, you're building a masterpiece. So, stop looking for the applause. Stop looking for the vibe shift to happen out there in the world. The vibe shift happens in here, in your mind. It happens when you stop fighting the routine and start embracing it. It happens when you realize that the discipline is the victory. When you finish this video, do not just click on the next one. Do not just scroll. Stand up, look at the thing you have been avoiding. The laundry, the email, the conversation, the workout, and attack it. Not with anger, but with presence. Attack it with the full force of your focus. Say to yourself, this is my battlefield. This is my cathedral. This is my life. The war is not won on the day of the parade. The war is won in the mud, in the dark, in the quiet, in the cold, in the ordinary. And you have the weapons to win it. Lay the brick, wash the bowl. Do the work. We are done talking. Now, we build. We have reached the end of the argument. You now know that the highlight reel is a lie. You know that the amateur waits for inspiration, while the professional hunts for it. You know that the Holy Grail is found in the dishwater. But there is one final truth you must swallow before you turn off this screen and return to your life. It is the truth of the stonecutter. There is a famous observation about a stonecutter hammering away at his rock. He hits the rock 100 times without as much as a crack showing in it. To the outsider watching, the stonecutter looks like a fool. He looks like he is wasting his time. He looks like he is making no progress. The rock is hard. The hammer is small. But then, at the 101st blow, the rock splits in two. Now, answer this. Was it the 101st blow that did it? No. It was the 100 blows that came before it. It was the 100 blows that looked like nothing was happening. It was the 100 boring, repetitive, invisible strikes that weakened the structure of the stone so that the final blow could finish the job. Your daily life is the first 100 blows. When you wake up early, nobody sees it, that is a blow to the stone. When you eat the healthy meal and the scale doesn't move, that is a blow to the stone. When you work late on your business and make $0, that is a blow to the stone. You are not failing. You are accumulating pressure. You are doing the invisible work that makes the visible victory possible. The tragedy of the modern world is that people quit at blow number 9. They look at the rock, they see no crack, and they say, this isn't working. They walk away right before the breakthrough. They walk away right before the miracle. Do not be that person. You have to have the blind faith of the stonecutter. You have to trust that the physics of hard work never lie. The energy is going somewhere. The crack is forming, even if you can't see it yet. And understand this. Your routine is not just about you. It is about the people watching you. You think your children listen to your advice? They don't. They watch your routine. If you tell them to be brave, but you quit every time things get hard, they will learn to quit. If you tell them to be disciplined, but you live in chaos, they will live in chaos. Your daily life is a sermon. You are preaching every time you walk into a room. You are preaching every time you handle stress. You are preaching every time you get back up after a failure. What is the title of your sermon? Is it how to complain and give up? Or is it how to stand tall in the storm? You are sculpting yourself. But unlike a statue made of marble, you are never finished. You are a sculpture in motion every single day. Life hands you the chisel and the hammer. It asks you, what are we carving today? Are we carving a masterpiece of character, grit, and kindness? Or are we carving a blob of laziness, regret, and envy? The chisel is in your hand. The choice is yours. So, when this video ends, do not look for a standing ovation. Do not look for a trophy. The world does not give trophies for ordinary days. The reward is not external. The reward is internal. The reward is looking in the mirror and liking the person looking back at you. The reward is knowing that you can trust yourself. The reward is laying your head on the pillow at night with a good tired, the exhaustion of a man who left nothing on the table. Go back to your war. Go back to your traffic. Go back to your desk. But go back with your eyes open. See the glory in the grind. Hit the rock. Hit it again. And again. And again. And one day, when you least expect it, crack. The world will call it luck. You will know it was the routine. Welcome to the war of the ordinary. Now, go win it. Your time is coming. Keep believing. Keep fighting. Don't just watch. Go out and prove them wrong. Thank you for being part of the journey. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.